Warning, some viewers may be too triggered by the following opinions.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be going over my top 25 favorite roller coasters. I'm going to jump right in a second, but I just want to say, please do not bash my opinions in the comments. I'd like to have some civil debates with you guys about my opinions, but this is my opinion and it will differ from yours, so please keep that in mind. If you enjoy this, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below with your opinions on everything I say. There are some cameos of a couple big YouTubers that you may like, so stay tuned throughout the video. There'll be a lot of fun gags at the end when we get closer to the top 10. Coming in at number 25 is Batwing at Six Flags America. Now, this Vekoma Flying Dutchman I do really enjoy. Even though it's only goes about 50 miles an hour, it's just so fun. Although there's only 2 Vekoma Flying Dutchmans left, this is just an outstanding ride that's way better than the Superman Ultimate Flight clone. So overall, Batwing is just a fun ride that I really enjoy. It's located at a park that not many people like, Six Flags America, which I find it to be overhated. Alright, going into number 24, we have the most overrated Intamin hypercoaster I have ever ridden. That is Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. Superman the Ride is supposed to be one of the best coasters in the world. The main reason I don't see it as one of the best coasters in the world is because of the changes to the ride after the incident, which includes the changes to the restraints. And the restraints have given me bruises, and it just doesn't feel right to love a coaster that hurts you. I do think that it's grown on me over the last few years, but it's still not one of my favorite roller coasters, but be glad it's up this high. And yes, the restraints are worse than Scarish. Anyway, let's go into number 23, which is Powder Keg at Silver City. This ride's very quirky, with it being a revitalization of a past roller coaster, the premierized Liquid Coaster. It's a combination of 2 manufacturers. While I did find it to be pretty fun with some pretty exciting elements, it wasn't that memorable, but it was my 100th roller coaster, so it holds a special place in my heart. But I did not like waiting 2.5 hours for it. But that's about it on it, really. I don't remember it that well, and I want to ride it again as soon as possible. Coming in at number 22 is Talon at Dorney Park, one of the nicest looking roller coasters ever. But it is also one of the quietest B&Ms ever due to the sand in the track. While this ride is one of my favorite B&M inverts, I do find it to be a little short, but I do really enjoy it, and I also really enjoy Dorney as a whole. And this is just a ride I keep coming back to. It's smooth, intense, and enjoyable. And I love the photo opportunities, especially with that helix. Coming in at number 21 is Kingdom Coaster, one of my favorite wooden roller coasters in Pennsylvania. With the buzz bars this ride has in back row, it really is fun. And it should be known that it was one of CCI's first creations, which everyone loves CCI because they went to form Gravity Group, arguably the best wooden roller coaster manufacturer to date. This ride has all the normal things a CCI has, with laterals on a helix, and some pretty fun pops of airtime. Overall, I really love this ride, and I love its color scheme even more. Coming in at number 20 is my favorite boomerang, and one of my favorite shore coasters. This is Sea Serpent at Maurice Piers. While this ride may just look like a normal boomerang, it's surprisingly really smooth due to the new trains that were added by Maurice this past year. It also has new brakes, so it's pretty smooth on that part as well. And this ride pulls 5.2 Gs, which is actually more than Skyrush. I really like it. Its setting's great, and the new paint by Bainham just looks awesome. Overall, it's just a fun ride. Coming in at number 19 is Phoenix at Knoebels. Phoenix is one of those rides that everyone loves, but I'm the oddball and I don't. The Golden Ticket Awards has ranked it pretty high, almost every year, and I just don't see the hype. While it is significantly smooth for opening in 1948 and pretty fun, I just don't find it to be the best wooden coaster in the world, or even close. But I do say it deserves a spot on my list and is pretty fun at a really awesome park. Knoebels is just great. Alright, enough about a overrated Woody. Let's go to Hershey Park and go ride Stormrunner at number 18. Stormrunner's a ride I find that is kind of underrated because it's in Hershey Park, which has an outstanding lineup. But Stormrunner is one of my favorite Intamins and my favorite Intamin accelerator. It's smooth, intense, and has some really quirky elements. I love the flying snake dive with all my heart, and the twister section is just well done, like phenomenal. It's so fun because it's so jank. But it's smooth, don't get me wrong, and I can't wait to see this ride reopen in 2021, hopefully at Hershey. And I can't wait to get some more re-rides. Coming in at number 17 is Merlins Mayhem at Dutch Wonderland. A really fun family invert from SNS, which pulls some pretty good Gs, like its 4G Helix. It's just an overall fun ride with on-ride audio, pretty nice theming, and it's at a pretty great park. I really have a deep love for family coasters because it's something everyone can enjoy, and this is something I really enjoyed when I went this past year, and I can't wait to go back and ride it again. Is it just me, or is this better than Batman the Ride at Great Adventure? I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on. Coming in at number 16 is a ride that used to be one of my favorite roller coasters, but now it's down a little farther. That is Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. I still have a really deep love for this ride because it was my first major roller coaster and my first coaster over 200 feet. I did get some really good rides in 2021 with a few friends that really shot it up. Even though it was cold, it was running great, and we got airtime on every single hill in front row. I just loved it, and I can't wait to get some re-rides in 2021 on it, because honestly, it's underrated and overhated, and I think it may be sometimes not very consistent. If you get a good ride on it, you're going to love it. Coming in at number 15 is Skyrush. Everyone loves Skyrush, but I do not love Skyrush. Honestly, the ride is pretty lackluster.
Whoa! Sorry for interrupting your video, but you give me no other choice. This is way too low for a top 10 coaster penny packer. This is top 5 range. You have been hanging out with Airtime Thrills way too much. I'm the Hershey addict, and you best believe I'm going to defend my rides.
Bro, where did you come from? It's just an overrated ride. The figure 8 does nothing for me.
What do you mean?
I find its pacing to be meh, the layout to be bland, uninteresting, with its few airtime moments not that great. It's also a little rough, honestly. Its track hasn't held up that long.
Rough? Excuse me, rough? That's what you're going to say? It may be a tad, but it's not that rough. I mean, at the same time, it's not really smooth. But it's all, I know what you're trying to get me to do. You're trying to get me to side with you. Listen, it may not be smooth, but it's certainly not rough.
Okay, Hershey man, don't think that. If I was siding with you, I would be Team Thunder.
Not cool, man. Not cool. You didn't have to do my baby lion racer dirty like that. Come on now, that's just a low blow.
Hey, give Skyrush another chance, Jason, like I did.
Is that Airtime Thrills? Chris?
Oh my gosh, I think that was Airtime Thrills. Chris, what's poppin'? Hey, I heard what you said about Lane Racer the other day, your most overrated coasters video. That was completely uncalled for.
What do you mean? That thing can put me to sleep any day.
I absolutely despise that you just said that. And to think, you were my favorite roller coaster YouTuber.
All right, guys. We can have this discussion later. Let's move on from the quiz videos, Chris, and let's get back to my opinions. All right, so maybe I'll give Skyrush another try in 2021, as I may find a way to like it more. Who knows? And I'll get back to you all when that happens. But at the moment, I don't love the ride, and I have my reasons for that. Coming in at number 14 is a Skyrocket 2 Phobia Fear at Lake Compounds. While I'm going to get hate for having this above Skyrush, I really like it. It has some pretty good ejector. It's overall smooth. It doesn't give me a migraine. And it has a really good setting along the mountainside. I just love the color scheme as well. It makes me look forward to other Skyrocket 2s, but I don't know how I'll like them because this one doesn't have any comfort colors, so it may be one of the best out there. Coming in at number 13 is another crazy placement. That's Steel Force at Dorney Park. One of my favorite Morgans, honestly. It's a really fun ride, especially with the trims off, which was happening most of 2020. I really liked it, and I got ejector on almost every hill. And it's been since 2018 since I rode it, so it kind of exceeded my expectations. I really enjoyed it, and I really want to head back to Dorney in 2021 and try and ride this again. Maybe it has trims off, so I can get a overall better understanding, because we don't want another voyage where you have to ride it with trims off for it to be good. Alright, let's move on. Next up, coming at number 12, is Great Bear. Great Bear is my favorite B&M invert, and it's a really fun one. While it has a really quirky layout, which you can kind of see as a lot of Hershey coasters, it's just an overall really good ride. It has some good pacing. It has some weird elements like going over the lake and with the crazy supports. I overall just really like it. And the helix before the drop is just really, really fun. It's a really well done experience by B&M, and I really want to ride it again in 2021. That's about it. That's all I have to say. Coming in at number 11 is my favorite roller coaster at Maury's Piers. This is Great Nor'easter or Nor'easter. Now, this ride deserves a little bit more attention, as it has a really weird history with multiple different color schemes and multiple different trains. This ride recently got a retrack, and it's like really smooth and is the best invert in New Jersey. And I think it may be one of my favorite inverts of all time. It's just intense because SLCs have good layouts, just their track profiling and trains are normally bad, and this fixes both things. It's also a beautiful ride to look at due to the color scheme, and its location on the boardwalk right next to the ocean is immaculate, and I can't wait to get back on this in 2021. And I think everyone should go try and ride this. It'll change your opinion on SLCs. And no, this SLC is not better than El Toro. Just throwing that out there. Alright, at number 10 we have the Steel Curtain.
Alright, that is cool and all, but why? I did not expect it to be above Skyrush.
Hey, how did you get here? Derek?
Remember you invited me?
I did?
Did someone say Steel Curtain?
Jonathan, a long time no see.
Skyrush is definitely better than Steel Curtain.
It's really good and all, but Phantom still beats both.
Get out of here. Go back to your own channel. Alright, now that we got them out of here, let me explain why I have this above Skyrush. I find it to be smoother, have better restraints, and overall a better looking layout. The ride employs 9 crazy inversions, which are all done very, very smoothly. Has a few really good pops of ejector and floater airtime, and overall I just love the way the ride executes everything. While it's not a lot of people's favorites, I really enjoyed it, and the 2 rides I got on it really left a lasting impact on it. And I really want to head back, hopefully in 2021, when it's open, because it did not open in 2020, to ride it again. And overall, I think it's a ride that's unique and will last the test of time. Coming in at number 9 is Oscar's Wacky Taxi at Sesame Place. I'm going to get hated on for this ranking, but this ride really just packs a punch. This shows you what a family coaster really should be able to do, and Gravity Group really nailed it here. This ride pulls some serious forces for a family coaster, and I would say it's pretty much borderline thrill, with ejector airtime in every hill. I could marathon this all day. It's smooth, it has timberliners, which are the best wooden coaster train, and it just is such a nice ride to ride. It's my mother's favorite roller coaster, and I can see why. It just is so fun. Even though it's short, it really just is fun. I don't know. I'm trying to find anything else to say, but I just like it. Alright, coming in at number 8 is Boulder Dash at Lake Compounce. I adore this ride setting.
That's about all that's going for it.
Hey, Chris. We've not spoken in a while beside like a little bit in the beginning of this video. How's life? And how's the new house, dude?
Enough about that. I'm here to trash on the boulder. Nah, it's doing good, but still. Boulder trash, am I right?
Chris, Lake Compounce and their team are good friends of mine.
Then tell them to fix the ride.
Alright, whatever Chris is saying is false. I love this ride. Moving on. Bye, Chris.
You cannot silence me.
Alright, well, now that Chris is out of here, because, you know, he hates Boulder Dash, let's talk about it. I love Boulder Dash with all my heart. It's a really, really fun ride, and I don't think there's a lot of wooden coasters out there like it that use its terrain like it does. Beast is the only one that comes to mind. But what CCI did with this layout was really, really ahead of its time. And honestly, I don't think will ever be done in the future again, or not for a long, long time. The way it barely even goes over 30 feet off the ground is really well done, and it just constantly keeps its speed as it's going downhill and then turns around and then goes back downhill. And it has some pretty good pops of flowjector if you ride in front row. So overall, I just really, really like this ride, and I can't wait to get a night ride on it this upcoming year, hopefully, because I've missed out 2 years in a row on night rides. We're heading over to Hershey, Pennsylvania for number 7. Number 7 is Candemonium. Candemonium is just a pretty good and fun all-around coaster. It's something that I actually really, really enjoyed and was really looking forward to in 2020. I went twice in a row, 2.5 hours away from my house to go watch it test, so I was a little obsessed. So when I got an invite to a media day, I was like beyond happy, and I just couldn't wait to ride it. And it really exceeded my expectations and really showed me what a good B&M hyper is. Let's see what JD thinks about this placement.
Oh my goodness. Could it be? The angels are singing, the stars are aligned. I agree with Penny Packer's ranking. This is unbelievable. Penny Packer, this is such a great spot for Candemonium. I have it in my top 10 as well. That floater airtime, man. Oh, so sustained, so deadly, and of course, so sweet.
So, you're enjoying having it this high? No complaints on the Skyrush placement?
No complaints here for your Candemonium placement. Absolute perfection. Although, don't get me started on Skyrush again. That should be up here in the top 10 with it, let alone top 5. But we already talked about that earlier. I'll let it slide for now. Regardless, Candemonium is one sweet coaster. Jason, tell the audience what makes Candemonium such a great hyper.
Will do, Hershey man, will do. Candemonium's layout is just great all around. Without a mid-course, it really just flows naturally. I really think a few standouts are the second airtime hill in front row with the trims on. It kind of flings you out of your seat and gives you some good flowjector. Surprisingly, the trim does the opposite of what it's supposed to do. I also believe the speed hill is just outstanding and is my favorite moment on the ride, which is only followed up second by the outer bank underneath the lift hill, which is just so weird for a B&M hyper. Honestly, I love this ride, and I can't wait to get more rides in it this year, hopefully, because 7 isn't enough. Oh wait, 7 rides? Number 7. Huh. Coming in at number 6 is a underrated RMC. This is Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England. A third half that runs slow for 15 seconds doesn't ruin a ride. This ride's pacing beside that last little third is outstanding. Being very, very short for an RMC in height, it really, really packs a punch with a really good stall after the first drop. Speed hill right after the first drop, that outward bank shoot to the left is also really, really fun and exciting. I really love the way this ride's layout takes the Cyclone layout, which is pretty like normal, and Riverside Cyclone was a little different than normal. They took that layout and completely revitalized it into a really fun, whippy RMC. And even though the last half is a little slow, I love the hang time on the final inversion. That just can't be beat. And honestly, this ride in the rain hauls completely. It just gives ejector airtime all over, and I love it. Alright, now we're coming into the top 5. Yes, it's finally happening. Coming in at number 5 is the one, the only Gale Force at Playland's Castaway Cove. Yes, it is the one of 2 New Jersey coasters in my top 5. And for good reason. This ride pulls some serious G's. This ride pulls almost 4.5 G's of force, which is a lot. And then it almost pulls negative, I think, 1.5, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. This ride is an SNS launched El Loco in Ocean City, New Jersey. Nothing really special about that, but it's one of a kind. There's never been another one built. And even though it had its fair share of trouble when it was first being built, it still holds up today. Even though it may be a little rough around the edges, it's pretty smooth overall, and it's a really, really aggressive ride experience that I really enjoy. The constant ejector airtime on this ride and the plethora of weird, wacky elements just really culminate together for a great ride experience. And not to mention the ride launches twice, so it's literally a double cycle for the price of one. And I think everyone should try and go down this year to ride it, because as many of you know if you follow me on Instagram, Plants Castaway Cove caught on fire a few weeks ago, and their main arcade building and offices are completely gone, and they have to rebuild, so they could use all the support. So come down to Ocean City this year and take a ride on Gale Force. Anyways, moving on to number 4 is another wooden coaster. This is Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. Outlaw Run is a really, really fun ride. Being the first RMC built from the ground up, and also being the first RMC wooden coaster, it really broke some boundaries when it first opened, to be the first wooden coaster to go upside down 3 times. And it holds up pretty well to this day. While it may not be the smoothest wooden coaster around, it's not really rough. It just jumbles around its layout. I really, really enjoy this layout, honestly, though. Its use of terrain is really, really well done. And overall, the ride just is so nice to look at from what you can see. Because this ride pretty much goes away from the park, and the only viewing angles are from the train and the exit and entrance platforms. This ride does have one of my favorite elements ever, though, the double barrel roll. An element that gives you whip into it and hang time out of it. It just is so fun, and that's one of the reasons I love Outlaw Run. And sorry, Chris, Outlaw Run is not as rough as you say. Moving on, coming in at number 3 is another Silver Dollar City roller coaster. This is Time Traveler. This ride is just outstanding. It's so weird, but also so fun, and it just strains me to think about it, because every ride I got on it was different, which is the joy of it. But its few highlights include the great 95-foot tall loop, the 100-foot 90-degree drop out of the station. I think it's 100 or maybe 90 feet. I forget exactly, but it's a really steep drop, and you're getting the spin kicker as you exit the station, so you start spinning as you go down this drop, and if you're in back row, you get flung over it. It's just so fun. This ride's layout really uses the terrain to its advantages, and is another reason why I just love Silver Dollar City. But yeah, this ride is my favorite ride at Silver Dollar City, and I can't wait to see more of these mock extreme spinners be built. Alright, now we're coming into the top 2. My top 2 has pretty much stayed the same for a very, very long time, but it recently changed in 2020, and it changed to having at number 2 Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. Yes, sadly, Phantom is now number 2. I have a new love as number 1, but
Dude, it's about time that it isn't your number 1.
No, it's my number 1. I prefer Phantom over Steel Vengeance, even though I know that's gonna upset everyone.
you two can't just stay on your own channels, can you? Come on.
You mentioned Phantom. Here I am.
It's our home park, so of course we will be back.
I get it. You love Kennywood. Let's just forget about Kennywood and hop along, don't you say?
We don't talk about what they did to Kangaroo.
Or the other 3 rides leaving?
I'm not against change, but there are some rides you just don't mess with.
At this point, I might as well just add them to another list of canceled Kennywood rides.
We aren't even on Discord. How? Alright. Let's move on. But I honestly do still really, really love Phantom. And that's why it's my number 2. And honestly, it's still one of the best coasters ever built and one of the best hypercoasters in the world. Its terrain usage is just amazing. Its second drop is just so fun. The final few airtime hills have some good floater moments, some good ejector moments, and some good sustained flowjector moments. It's really just an overall really fun ride that just makes me have a blast. But now, moving on from Phantom, we go into my number 1, which of course is the only coaster that I love and haven't spoken about yet. This is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is surprisingly the only Intamin prefab roller coaster in the United States, and I really wish they built more, because this ride is just outstanding. With its plethora of ejector airtime hills, which are fully sustained, with its pretty exciting twists and turns, it overall is a really small, narrow layout that packs a punch for the rider. El Toro is also huge when you think about it. Being almost 181 feet, it is like almost 20 feet away from 200 feet, meaning it is humongous to look at. And when you put it next to King Ka, when you're up at the top of the lift, you feel like you're about halfway up Ka's height, which you're about like 50 feet away from that, but still, it really is just humongous. The cable lift hill travels so fast to get you up to the top and is one of my favorite parts of the ride. You really don't have that anticipation of a wooden coaster with a chain lift. You just speed up the lift and you're like, oh, well, here comes the almost 80-degree drop, which is amazing in back row. Then it follows up with 2 huge ejector hills, which are fully sustained. Then you go into a little break with a turnaround, a few little bunny hops, which heads into the Rolling Thunder Hill, which is probably my favorite part of the ride. I know I'm basic, but this ride, I know I'm basic, but this section of the ride just hauls. It's so low to the ground that this hill, the train just whips over it when it's at full speed. And when you're in back row, you get flung over it. And then it ends off the ride with a few twister sections, which throw you around like a bucking bull. I know a lot of people complain that most of this ride is filler, but I really enjoy it, and I think Intamin did a good job at designing a layout that kind of shows off what it would be like to ride a bull. Now, yeah, I know a lot of you guys won't agree with this list, but let me know down in the comment section if you enjoyed this style video, if you want more of these type of list videos. Let me know. I put a lot of time and effort into this. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to check out all the people that helped make this video in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.